I'm meteorologist John Dawson. This is your Fox 26 YouTube tropical update. Want to make sure that you know what's happening here. This is our first full week of hurricane season, and well, we've got something to discuss for sure as what's left over from Alex. That potential tropical cyclone that we talked about all last week, well, at the end of last week, not really the whole week. We're definitely finally became Alex at the end of the weekend. So I'm going to back up again to June 1st when we were watching sort of a very disorganized system that was over off the Yucatan Peninsula. And remember, this was actually the remnants of Agatha, Hurricane Agatha, that made landfall on the Pacific coast of Mexico, and then it kind of wandered over. It lost all of its tropical characteristics, so therefore it kind of reset as far as what we would name it if it gained those tropical characteristics. And as we talked about, it moved across the Caribbean and the southern portions of the Gulf of Mexico, remained unorganized, remained not technically a tropical system in that it would be formally called a cyclone. It was still kind of tropical in nature, but really once it got itself lined up against southern Florida, especially, I'm sure you saw some of the video coming out of Miami with this water all in some parts of the streets there. This is a good reminder that it doesn't take a formal named tropical system to create a bunch of problems, and this is exactly what happened with this. At this point, it was still a potential tropical cyclone. We'll call it Alex at this point now that it was officially named once it got out in the Atlantic. So again, this was about June 4th, and then as we move across Florida and into the Atlantic, it finally gained enough characteristics to become a tropical storm. So for most of Sunday and much of Monday, it was a tropical storm, Alex. And then now as we've reached to the end of the day on Monday, once again, it lost its tropical characteristics and it has now become post-tropical Alex is what we're going to go ahead and call this. It still has strong winds. The 4 p.m. update on Monday has 60-mile-an-hour sustained winds, and that's going to be able to hold those steady for, let's say, another 12 to 24 hours. But the Hurricane Center doesn't even put the forecast cone past 1 a.m. on Tuesday. So we're looking at this system to begin to completely lose its tropical characters and completely move away from any kind of land masses as far as it would impact. Bermuda was something that was keeping an eye on it as it did skirt just to the north, but again, well away from the continental U.S. We're going to be able to kind of move on a little bit from Alex as we'll see that system continuing to kind of move and then fall apart over the next 12 to 24 hours. So officially, we can check off the name of Alex, that first named storm. And just a reminder, if you've been keeping score at home, for 7 years in a row, we had a named storm before June 1st, before the official start of hurricane season. Here in 2022, we broke that streak because Alex wasn't named until after June 1st. So that's something I'm not going to complain about, being able to kind of break that 7-year streak of having that early action starting in the month of May. And sometimes we even had more than one named storm in that 7 years that we saw that are across there. Just a quick reminder, Alex is that first storm, we like it when that first storm is really not that devastating of an impact. It's sort of just a good reminder to everybody that we've gotten into hurricane season. Now, if you're in Miami, of course, you'd argue with me a little bit on the impacts that Alex had, but for the rest of us, we've been able to watch that and just sort of get reminded we need to get those plans in place just a little bit. The Fox 26 weather app, get that downloaded. That'll be great to have. You'll be able to track all the tropical weather that's out there. As soon as it becomes a tropical system, or even when it's that potential tropical cyclone, you're able to see all that on the Fox 26 weather app. Of course, it's got a lot of other great features as well. Whether in Houston or not, you're able to do that. And if you're looking for some more folks to follow, I'm definitely out there at John Dawson Fox 26. Look me up on Twitter to get those updates, and then Facebook for some of that hurricane gear test that I produce as far as giving you ideas of what you need in your hurricane kit. We'll be back again tomorrow with another daily briefing here on the tropics on YouTube.